Bienvenidos a Ciudad de Mexico. Welcome to Mexico City. Today we're going to wander around what's called La Paseo De La Reforma, which means the walkway of the reform, or the beautiful. Starting off at the Palacio de Bellas Artes, which is the Palace of Fine Arts. Join me as we walk around this beautiful city of Mexico City. I'm Ariel, this is Urbanist, and let me know where you're watching from. So this is one of the more famous buildings in all of Mexico City, Palacio de Bellas Artes. Look at its immense beauty over here. So today's not really a research tour, we are just kind of wandering around. So if you know any of the cool history behind these sites that we visit, do let me know how they are and any cool facts about it. So obviously this is done in a very beautiful style, very kind of Beaux-Arts style, but taking it a little bit more classical, very ornamental. And this is what I love about Mexico City. The buildings here are even more ornamental than you would see in places like New York. Saludos, Omarcito, bienvenidos. All right, let's see. Which way can we enter? I think we have to enter this way. ¿Cuál lado es la entrada? Esa? Okay, gracias. All right, so let's see if we can enter. And don't mind the camera. Buenos dias, everyone. Wendy, Michelle, welcome. Chris. Hello. Ariel, thank you so much for sharing Mexico with us. Enter. They are good. All right, so they're doing a security check. So I'll be back to show you the interior. So let's walk outside and enjoy the beautiful city. Hey, you are gonna be blown away by that building, says Monica. Yes, Monica. Monica is a Chilanga. I might be saying that correctly. Let me know if that's the proper feminine way of saying it. From Mexico City. And she messaged me with a few tips. So thank you so much, Monica. I can't wait to go in. They're doing a security check, so it'll be a little bit weird to film the way in with the security check, but I'll be back to show you the inside. The reason I didn't really study up the history of these places is because I was running all around the city. I can get good data, and I finally found one. Con permiso. I finally found one here at Sears. So I have now 2 data cards, and it seems like I'm streaming now in HD. So crossing fingers, it is smooth. Let me turn the camera around. Looks hot today. Yes, it is. I covered myself in suntan lotion because I got sunburn yesterday. Oh, you can't see it with this arm. You can see a little bit with this arm, not too much. Do you have to be fully vaccinated to come here? No, Virginia. Mexico literally has 0 requirements. Right behind the fountain over here, we see La Torre Latinoamericana, one of the earlier skyscrapers of Mexico City. It was the tallest building in all Latin America for a few decades. And it almost has the same shape as the Empire State Building, which is very interesting. Of course, it's much shorter. It's about a third of the empire. Pero el parque que estás es la Alameda. Gracias. So here we are in Alameda Park. Valenti, hey Valenti. So I was just wandering around yesterday and I got spotted by an urbanist randomly. Valenti. So everyone, send hearts to Valenti. He was working at one of the kind of the shopping market, like crafts fairs markets. And he was so kind enough to offer me glasses because he's selling awesome glasses, but I have prescriptions to use them. But Valenti, it was awesome meeting you. Let's continue walking around. Are you going to Xochimilco? That'll be next weekend. Next weekend I'll be showing Xochimilco. We could tell you were getting burned yesterday. Oh yes, you're closer to the sun, says Chris. Oh, I think that's why, Chris. Thank you so much. Now that makes sense. I guess that's why because I was wondering, like, I've been in sunny days in New York and have not gotten nowhere near as burnt as I did yesterday. Beautiful fountain here. Have you found a good place to avocado toast? I think I did. I might do a short video there. Stay tuned. It is a very interesting cafe. And which are kind of this breakfast dish made with nachos covered in sauce. In my case, I had one covered in a black bean sauce. But they have avocado toast on the menu, and they're one of the more fancier places. So stay tuned. I might go back there early in the morning before it gets really filled up. Hey, Valenti says, I took a selfie with Ariella. He did. Hey, Jao, how's Mexico treating you? I am loving Mexico City, loving it. Absolutely amazing city. Beautiful architecture, which we're going to see on this wandering. Probably be an hour or a little bit longer because we're going to walk our way to Chapultepec. So Chapultepec is Grasshopper Hill in English, and it is the central park of Mexico City. So yeah, I'm loving the architecture, I'm loving the food. The people are very awesome, very friendly, very cultural culture over here. So there's a lot of hospitality and a lot of kind of politeness in Mexican culture. So yeah, having a fun time. The only issue was data. That's my only frustration is sometimes I take American/Western European cell service for granted when not all places are created equal when it comes to great cell service for live streaming. Jenny, I like your shirt. Oh, thank you so much, Jenny. Kenya says, we are loving the live stream. I'm determined to live stream. So I did some really kind of technical things to use 2 data cards at the same time, 2 SIM cards at the same time. So I'm using both Telcel and I'm using AT&T at the same time. So had to figure that out. New mask, yeah, okay, new mask. Same designer, smart. The guy who has given me some great advice with cell service. And yes, Action Kid, I'm using Speedify, so thank you so much. Carmen says, you look handsome. I like your shirt and your mask. Oh, thank you so much. Beautiful fountains here. Beautiful fountains. I love, so a lot of like, this is why I love, there was a big flourishing of Mexico during the reign of Porfirio Diaz. He was a controversial figure, that is true. I may talk about him more this upcoming week. But in essence, during the earlier part of his reign in the early 1900s and late 1800s, 1890s, there was a boom in the Mexican economy, huge boom. Mexico went from a country with very little economic resources and very little economic power onto the world to becoming one of the main powers, at least in Latin America, and definitely a power that was well combined with U.S. up north. So a lot of riches, a lot of wealth, and a lot of business came in. The downside was that it left a lot of people in poverty as well. Because similar to an American economy and Western European economy, it's kind of a winner-take-all type of deal. So here was amplified even more so than you would see in the US. And thus, while a lot of people did get rich, many more times people got poor. But nonetheless, due to those riches, here in Mexico City exploded from a population around 100,000 to many million. And we had all these works done all around the city. So that's why we're seeing a lot of kind of stuff that came about in the 1890s. Here in Mexico, you see clowns, street clowns. This is funny. Now I might be tempted to follow the water. I think even Mexicans themselves don't drink the water from fountains or anything like that. Chris says Porfirio Diaz was a dictator. Yes, indeed he was. Indeed he was. Yes. As I said, both sides to that story. Like most things in history, it's always very complicated. And there's heroes and villains that are not always clear cut. They sometimes blur the line. So another thing I noticed here in Mexico City, which I find fascinating, and for any of the Chilangos watching out there, what's up with the rollerblading? It's so popular here. At least I've seen like 4 or 5 parks filled with rollerbladers. And of all ages, they're kids, adults. I even saw an old lady riding the rollerblades. It's fascinating. I don't see that too much in New York. New York is more about the bicycling and the scootering. Or the skateboarding, I mean. Beautiful park, says Leon. Yes, it is. It's a gorgeous park. I'm really loving this park, personally. Maizi says, join them. Jenny says, a mature woman. Yes, a woman who is aged like fine wine. Yes, that's what I mean, Jenny from the block. A woman who has aged like fine wine is rollerblading. Saw that the other day. All right, we're gonna see a whole lot of statues on our journey today. If I don't get burnt, I might need to put a lot more sunscreen. I gotta get myself a hat. There's like no shade in this city. Here is a statue of Alejandro de Humboldt. Alejandro de Humboldt was quoted with saying that this was the city of palaces, la ciudad de palacios. And he's pretty right on the nose with that, because we're going to see a few palaces. So Alejandro de Humboldt. I'm not sure if is he the same as Alexander Humboldt? Did they just translate the name? Because if he is, then he's the famous naturalist as well. Dr. Tachi, nice to see you here. Michelle, would I move here? You know what? As I've been researching the history, there's so much in this city. And even just in the touristy parts that I'm walking through right now, I can go into so much detail about the city that a month or 2 months, I could definitely do a bunch of content here. Look out for disgruntled drummers, says George. I don't think I'm gonna find those here. Buskers seem generally happy, including this band of mariachis, or I think they're mariachis. I know there's different names for folk bands and costumes here. So let me know what are these guys called. I think they might be a police force. Thank you so much. So Alejandro Humboldt is Alexander Humboldt. Yeah, they just translated the name. German, yes, biogeographist. Yes, he was a geographer. Very famous guy. The guy said, no, no, you can't come and touch it. Mexico is an inexpensive place to retire. It definitely is. Your money is going to go a very long way. So earlier today, I went to one of the most fanciest brunch places in all of Mexico City. And, and alone, I spent $22. I was stunned. It was like a super fancy place. People were pretty well dressed. And it was only $22. I was absolutely stunned. Which might sound a lot for a breakfast, but you know, if you're going to a very fancy place in the middle of the city, if you're going alone, you're going to spend around 40. Avocado toast? No, not yet, but that is the place with avocado toast. Might return. And so we're starting to see a lot more high rises. Dora says beautiful houses. Dr. Tachi says, wow, 22. So get this, or we're going to be surrounded by people hawking. But get this. I spent, I got myself cost about $3.50. For comparison, in New York City, a green juice would cost you 10 in a restaurant or 12 in the restaurant. Chilaquiles, which was a very filling plate for like 8. It's a beautiful, amazing scone. Was only like $1.50. And then I got coffee and some sparkling water, which were like $2 each. So people were waving. So it was awesome. Got a lot of bang for my buck. Your connection is great, says Dr. Tachi. Oh yes, Dr. Tachi. We take here in America and Western Europe, we take our great data service for granted, especially if you're a live streamer. You know, if you're a casual user, data, you're generally gonna have good data in many countries like Mexico and others. But if you're a live streamer, that's where it gets a little bit more tricky. ¿Dónde está el Paseo De La Reforma? Este lado, así. Okay, gracias, gracias. All right. So just ask them where the Paseo De La Reforma is. Matt, did I eat a great breakfast? I ate a great breakfast. Yes, I did. Hong Kong has the best data. Oh, yeah. I really want to go to Hong Kong. And also Singapore. Mel Cool says, I'm so happy I finally caught you live. Oh, thank you so much, Mel Cool. So we're going to see a lot of skyscrapers. This is going to be fun. I'm so hyped. What's the beeping? I don't know what the beeping is. Alarms and they just leave it ringing in the businesses. Jenny, where are you heading to? Chapultepec, which means Grasshopper Hill in the ancient Aztec language, which the official name is Nahuatl. Nahuatl. Are you having a good time? I'm having an excellent time. Excellent time, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's cross. So here, there's one of the few places that has a crosswalk sign. Oh, okay. And down there, we see the monumental arch built by Porfirio Diaz, Mexico's long-running dictator during the late 1800s, early 1900s. Have you seen any interesting birds? Yeah, there's these tiny little birds, very tiny little birds. Don't know what the names of them are yet. There's pigeons here, of course. And there's these beautiful blackbirds, very long, skinny beaks. So yeah, really cool birds here. Elizabeth, wow, finally caught you a live stream. Love your wandering videos. I'm so glad you do. All right, here it is. There's so many museums and cultural institutions in the park too. I regret not seeing more of them, says Action Kid. Yeah, Action Kid, I feel you. I mean, this city is a lot more, it's very dense here, so there's a lot of history, a lot of museums, a lot of cultural attractions. So here is where a lot of people start their journey on El Paseo de la Reforma. La Reforma is named after the War of the Reform. And La Paseo is closed on Sundays to bicyclists, so this is nice. So no car traffic on Sundays, so we can actually walk in the middle of the street and get extremely tanned. So this is named after the Reform War, which was in the mid-1800s. And it was versus conservatives and liberals. The outcome of that war was that they were pretty pro-French, and they were okay with installing a European monarch by the name of Maximilian of Habsburg into the place that we're heading to, Chapultepec. So the entire area is named after that era, and we're gonna see a lot of statues of the heroes of that era. Right here we have 1992, Sebastian, an artist, built this, and it's called a caballito, which means a little horse. A little horse along El Paseo de la Reforma. So let me cross. Now everyone, I don't intend to get into any types of politics here. I'm talking about stuff that happened 100 years ago, and I know it has affected to some things that are happening now, but my intention is not to talk about anything happening now. I'm just talking about the history. So no politics in the... Cross. Oh wow, these streets are big. This is far different from the vlogs and documentaries about Mexico, says well, a lot of people have covered El Paseo de la Reforma. A lot of vloggers have indeed come over here. Y con permiso, ¿hacia qué lado es Chapultepec? Este lado, gracias. Beep boop, beep boop. The alarm is going off. Here's the Mexican Lottery building. Very kind of cool Art Deco building right over here. Awesome, awesome Art Deco building. And there's a bike share program here. I think you spend less than $2. Your Spanish definitely helps a lot here, says actually. Indeed it does. I am definitely not taking it for granted. I love that I'm able to speak Spanish here. Towards the coffee fund. Thank you so much. So I'm gonna go later up to the top there because I think they have what's called a mirador, observation deck. I'm gonna come back later to the monument, but we're gonna go along El Paseo De La Reforma right here. The Grand Plaza, the Grand Walkway, the Grand Boulevard. I think Boulevard is a better name in English, of Mexico. So I got 2 super chats. Hey, Eva, bienvenidos. Eva, gracias por el super chat. I definitely do plan on getting a coffee. Ava says, hey, great to see you in Mexico City. Seeing you now from New York. Hope you can find Al Pastor Tacos. Yes, I'm gonna go to Al Pastor Tacos a little bit later today. Oh, I'm so excited. Or today or tomorrow, stay tuned. Tomorrow there's gonna be a food tour. Here we have one of the many statues. Now, a lot of these statues have been vandalized recently. I'm not sure why. But here are the many people who were part of the Reform War. Renee, thank you so much for a super chat. Oh, I found where to buy some sombreros, but you have to find out where to get a horse on your own. So Mexican hat culture is really cool. They have some amazing hats. The only downside is that they're very hard, they're very thick hats, which is good for covering the sun, but it's not very portable. I'm so tempted to buy one of those very ornate Mexican hats. Let me know. Let me know if you want to see me in an ornate Mexican hat, or maybe just a cap. What do you vote? Hat, sombrero, or gorra, which is hat or cap? Vote now, or forever hold your peace. Valenti says it was vandalized because of Women's Day. Oh, okay. Thank you for letting us know, Valenti. Usual times for food. Similar to the US. We're getting very packed for lunch, I think around 12, usually, or 1. Breakfast here is a bit later from what I've noticed. Coffee shops, most of them at least, start opening up around 9 a.m. as opposed to like 7 a.m. in New York. So that's one difference, is breakfast is a bit later, and dinner is just a bit later. Dinner is here between 7 to 10 p.m. from what I've heard from a few locals. Action Kid! I want you to get a sombrero like I did when I went. All right, thank you so much for $5 super chat, Action Kid. All right, let's turn the camera around. PayPal from Eddie Cano. The Cano family, thank you so much for the PayPal and Action Kid as well. Está cerca del bosque de Chapultepec. Estamos, yo no sé, como 15 minutos, un poco más, como 30 minutos caminando. We're about 30 minutes, I think, away from Chapultepec Park. Well, you need to get tested to come back to the US. Yes, you have to have a negative COVID test to enter the US. Mexico has no requirements, US does. Impressive tower, yeah, we're gonna see a few of them. But yeah, impressive skyscraper. A lot of them have to be resistant to earthquakes. So I think we'll have those resistances right here. See those huge columns? I am making an educated guess, don't know 100% for sure. But if I were to venture a guess, I think these huge columns are in order to provide extra support for the building. And usually a lot of these buildings are almost like on stilts, quote unquote. They have huge columns on the first few floors. Abby, happy travels. Thank you so much, Abby. All right, let me cross over here. Oh, a historic building there. How's public transportation here? I have no experience yet with it. It seems plentiful, but it always seems very packed with people. Jenny says I'll match AK. Oh, thank you so much, Jenny. Chris is donating to the Sombrero Fund. Thank you so much, Chris. Okay, everyone. We have a big sombrero fund. Mona says you're very worried because there's no required testing. If you are immunocompromised, if you are even a little bit nervous about coming to a country where they have very light restrictions, then don't come. I would recommend. I am grateful that I am in good health, and I do take care of myself health-wise. This is not a health channel, so I really don't talk about my daily health habits, but that is I put great importance into health, so I feel comfortable at the moment. So it seems like sombrero has won. So you might see me sport a sombrero in Teotihuacan, which is the pyramids. Thank you for exposing the beautiful, rich history in the city. My pleasure. George says it's all the caffeine that keeps you healthy. Indeed it does. Indeed it does. Cannot wait until you have lunch. I think a lot of people really like the food streams. Sure, I bought an Aussie hat, says Greg. You know, they have hats very similar to Aussie hats here. So you would be surprised. We're gonna see a lot of skyscrapers now being built here in this area. So many cyclists out and about today. Wow, very impressive. Interesting building, yeah. Hotel Imperial, so it's a hotel. Imperial means imperial. And it's basically spelled the same way. There we go. You're learning some Spanish. Imperial. Imperial. Hotel. Hotel. I hope you enjoyed these Spanish lessons. You're probably learning a whole lot. Do you speak good English? Some people do. Some people speak perfect, amazing English, but it's not super common. Street vendors. You're not going to really encounter too much English with street vendors. But in the hotels and the major restaurants, yes. People know good English. Beep boop. Beep boop. Hey, Inkspire Life. $5 super chat. Inkspire Life. Thank you so much, Inkspire Life. Oh, so they manage, so this is they allow cross traffic with the cars. They have these people set up on each intersection to hold up a flag, basically, a tarp, and then allow them to cross. And the race has started. Beep boop. That sound is going to get stuck in my head. I'm hearing it everywhere. Here's another hotel. La Plaza Residencial, the residential plaza. Very sparse crowd. Yeah, it's not too full. Okay, everyone, I gotta take a suntan break. I gotta put on some lotion. Crazy. There's no shade here. Who wants to go on the suntan break? Let me know. If you want to join me for a suntan lotion break. We're gonna sit down. I'm gonna put on lotion on my face, and you're all gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna sit here in this Starbucks over here. Don't mind me, Starbucks people. Do you drink bottled water here? Yes, Action Kid. No tap water. I don't drink any tap water. Mexicans don't drink tap water as well, so you won't be weird here asking for bottled water. You won't seem like an overly cautious tourist. I feel refreshed. Kenya says, Ariel, you rock. I'm so glad you think so. Oh, no gracias, no gracias. I feel refreshed. I got this like cool suntan lotion that's made from like natural ingredients, and it moisturizes at the same time as protecting you. Michelle, is it safe for you to drink the coffee? Yes, I generally feel comfortable with the coffee. Because coffee, oh my God, there's so much traffic. Coffee is generally made with filtered water. For example, if you're drinking coffee and you want to be really on the safe side, get yourself espresso. Because espresso generally, 90% of the time has to be made with filtered water. Like it's a must anywhere around the world. Because if you don't filter your water, it screws up espresso machines, and espresso machines are very expensive. So most coffee shops anywhere around the world don't take the risk. That said, the water is also so heated up that it kills off any bacteria. So I wouldn't fear too much, but that said, yesterday I did order a tea from a random place, and the tea came looking oily. And I found that so weird. I was like, oh, what's happening here? It was a green tea, no milk. And I searched up, and the reason water might look oily, tea might look oily, is A, the tea leaves could be very low quality, but B, is because they're using, quote, hard water is water with a lot of sediment, which basically Mexico has. So Mexico has hard water, and coffee shops tend to never use hard water in their espresso. Yeah, boy, if you want to play even more safe, get yourself an Americano. Then it'll be espresso with boiled water. So ×2 the protection. Oh, here are the strange birds with, I'm not sure what their names are. Oh, what birds are these? Anyone who's from Mexico City? What's the name of them in Spanish? Beautiful, beautiful birds. Is beer stronger here? I don't have experience with beer yet, so I don't know. I'm not sure if they sell beer that's strong as American beer or it's light as like a German beer or a British beer. Not sure. Great question, Babu. Is it made with filter water? I don't know. I don't know those details. Is there a bird app? Let's see if we can hop on the bus. Where can we buy a bus ticket? Let's see. Let's see. How does one take a bus here in Mexico City? You guys want to try to take a bus? Let me know. We can attempt it. I think one is coming. Recharge. How do I just buy a new one? Ooh, I can't buy a new card here. No, so you can't buy a new card, unfortunately. Oh, that's a shame. Nope. So S Fields, yeah, you're right. It's just for recharging. So you can't buy a card here, but at least they have the bus times, which is nice. Crackle. Thank you so much. It's a crackle. It's a large tail crackle. Thank you so much, everyone. Okay, thank you so much. You probably need a ticket to get on. Let me cross over here. Yeah, you'll need. I'll need the card. I gotta buy myself the card so I can ride the bus. So I'll come back. The subway stop has machines. Oh, that's nice. That's good to know. Okay, good to know. I imagine you could buy a card at Insurgentes at line 1 coming up. All right, let's see how buying the card is. I'll show it to all of you. Wow, what building is this? Is there a senior fair in Mexico? The fares are so cheap. I'm not sure if there's a senior fair, but they're already so cheap that you might not even need to buy yourself a senior fair. So when I came here 15 years ago, when I was a wee little child, because obviously I'm only like 19. So I came here and stayed. I came here with family. Many of you might already know the executive producer of the car tours. And we came here and stayed at El Hotel Emporio. Let me cross. Oh, so cool. Look at these views. Oh, we're gonna see a cool statue coming up. How much does it cost to ride a bus in Mexico? I'll let you know. Don't know yet. If anyone does. So this is where I stayed with family, El Hotel Emporio, right here on La Reforma. Very beautiful hotel. In a historic building as well. Nice restaurant that they have. I don't recall eating at the restaurant. Oh, I did, yes. So they have like a breakfast buffet, or at least they used to. And I remember being shocked when I first came here 15 years ago that breakfast in Mexico had such heavy meats. There was like steak, pork, very, very heavy meats. You know, in the US we might eat bacon or ham or something like that. But steak for breakfast is a bit more rare in the US. The Mexican Senate. Oh, okay. Thank you so much. A young Ariel with a gimbal saying, "Let me know." Indeed, indeed. I started live streaming out of the womb, everyone. It's my origin story. Oh, that's the crosswalk sign. Doot, doot. Doot, doot. Doot, doot. Hey, how's it going? Are you watching me right now? Hey, what's your name?
Christian,
Christian, nice to meet you.
nice to meet you.
Oh, how long have you been watching for?
YouTube,
What?
in YouTube,
In YouTube, but how long?
in Mexico City.
No, porque ¿hace cuánto tiempo estaba mirando los videos?
Desde el año pasado, más o menos,
Oh, bastante tiempo. Oh, wow.
Navidad.
Oh, qué bien.
Soy de Venezuela, de hecho.
Oh, sí, sí, sí. Oh, ¿tú eres de Venezuela?
Hace
Ah, ¿y qué te...?
No, vivo muy cerca de aquí
Ah.
y dije, oh, voy a verlo. Sí.
Oh,
Te
qué bien.
recomiendo que camines por el parque de Jace, por acá. Hay unas obras de arte, están muy buenas.
Oh, ¿cómo se llama?
Aquí está muy cerca.
¿Parque de qué? Oh, ahí está. Ok.
¿Dónde está?
Oh.
Hoy es domingo,
Sí.
hay obras de arte, cuadros, eso.
Oh, qué bien. Ah, está ahí al lado.
Sí,
Ah, qué
justamente
bien.
detrás de eso.
Oh, wow,
Se llama
qué bien.
Parque del Arte.
Ok, gracias. Ok, te veo. Bueno, a conocerte. Bye, bye. All right, so he recommended a park right over here, across the street. So it was awesome meeting. If anyone can remind me, what was his name? Awesome to meet you. cool to run into a fan. Yeah, Dr. Tachi. Yeah, indeed, it is fun. He said that he's coming from Venezuela, but he lives here now in Mexico. So he's a Venezuelan based here. And here, we have a cool statue. Christensen. Thank you so much. Christensen. Thank you so much. It was so awesome. Everyone give hearts to Christensen or Christian for saying hello. Kay says, you're famous everywhere you go. Here's Cuauhtemoc. Cuauhtemoc. Let's wait for this police vehicle to pass. And let's dodge all the bicyclists. Who's good at Frogger? Let me know. One of the last great Tlautani of the Aztecs. Tlautanis were the rulers of the Aztecs. Cuauhtemoc. And Cuauhtemoc was the last great emperor, or great king, Tlautani, of the Aztecs. I'm very close to the pink zone. Yeah, La Zona Rosa. I'll be coming back to La Zona Rosa. So Cuauhtemoc was one of the last rulers of the Aztecs. He, after Montezuma, he was between the Aztecs and the Spaniards. The Spaniards were very adamant in recovering the treasure that they lost from La Noche Trista, which is the sad night where they dumped a bunch of gold and silver and can't skip the ambulances. Is this New York? Is this New York? They had to dump all that gold, the silver, everything, right? And they wanted to recover it because they wanted to escape from the Aztecs, and they were too heavy, and they couldn't hold all that treasure in order to escape safely. So they dumped it into the lake Texcoco as they were going across the very thin causeways. Well, Hernan Cortés, Alvarado, his right-hand man, and all the other Spaniards wanted that treasure back. So they demanded from Cuauhtemoc, where is the treasure? And he kept pressing and pressing. Cortés wasn't too bothered apparently, but Alvarado was very adamant. Alvarado was kind of movie, you have the leader and then they have like a right-hand man, and the right-hand man tends to take things a little bit too far. That happens in a lot of movies. Well, that's Alvarado in this scenario. So he decided to torture Cuauhtemoc, and he put him on a seat with hot burning coals right below his feet to burn his feet and interrogate him. Where's the gold? Where's the treasure? And Cuauhtemoc is like, dude, it's in the water. There's no way we can find it. And they then recover the gold. It was, of course, in the water. And the waters, by that time, I think because of all the warring, were probably already murky. Also, they were brackish waters in that area, too. So you couldn't really find anything if you were to go deep. This is a story told all over again. Hey! Just gave $10 to Ariel via PayPal. Do I need to be a member to do that or what? Alicien, thank you so much for tuning in. No, you do not have to be a member to PayPal. PayPal is a one-time contribution. It goes to data, goes to gear, it goes to showing you awesome food, all these other things, museums, etc. But if you do want to become a member, that's a recurring contribution of minimum $5 per month. I look sunburned. Yeah, I think I am. I think I am. It's quite sunny here. Definitely a need for a sombrero here in Mexico City. So let me see if I can find, right here. Here is Guatemal's poor feet being burnt in order to find where that treasure is. Poor Guatemala. All right, let me take a water break and a sanitization break. How's the mosquito situation as Fields? I've gotten bitten a few times, but nothing too bad. I strongly to mosquitoes here as I would in say Puerto Rico, where the bites are a little bit worse. So no, you'll barely encounter them, mostly at night, and mostly in kind of more the swampier or areas with more vegetation and running like water. All right, let's walk towards La Alameda Independencia. They eat you alive, says S. Fields. Oh no, S. Fields. That's bad. Wayne, thank you so much for 50 stars. I appreciate you. It's not mosquito season yet, says. Well, I know high rises. We're seeing them right here. This is I haven't pointed to the camera up a lot, but there's a whole lot. There's a whole lot here in Mexico. They're not as high as like Midtown Manhattan, but they're pretty damn tall. They're pretty damn tall, taller than most American cities. Can we walk through the Center Plaza? Let's see. I think there's a Center Plaza. So yeah, a lot of high rises here, all along here. A lot of high rises. And then later we're gonna go another day to Polanco, and later next week. Beverly Hills of Mexico City, but also has a lot of offices and high-rise buildings. Are there super tall towers? No, there's no super talls. I don't think so. I don't think they qualify for super talls yet. They are pretty tall, but not super tall. I think there's one that's 500 feet, somewhere around there. 500 feet, I think. Might be the taller one. Hey, Alicen, I'm responding to you. Nightbot cannot respond to those questions. Sorry, Alicen. Nightbot's not that intelligent. No, you don't need to be a member to leave a PayPal. If anyone could respond to Ali said, maybe she's not listening. Maybe she's on mute. No need to pay for a PayPal. I mean, no need to be a member to do a PayPal. All right, it's getting overcast finally. Yes, sun, go away. I love sunny days, but here in Mexico City, it's strong. It's strong. Look at this cool sculpture. That's a cool bench. Oh my God, some cool benches in this city. Yes, a plaza with trees, shade. Yes, I love shade. Who else is a fan of shade? Look at all the cyclists out here. Every Sunday, they close it off to cyclists. Juro says that they are doing a restoration on the Ángel de Independencia. So we can't see all of them. Yes, we can't see it in its glory, but I think it'll be worth showing it nonetheless. No, no, gracias. That's interesting. He was offering me to wash my sneakers. That's fascinating. There's a sneaker washer. What? That's kind of cool. I might take up on his offer whenever they get really dirty. But they're pristine white right now. It's because I'm an expert walker. So in order to challenge myself, I wear white sneakers in major cities in order to see how clean I can keep them. Wendy says they look so white. Nina says they might steal your sneakers. I don't think so. I mean, hey everyone, I get the news you might have heard about Mexico. Again, do your own research, but from what I've seen, a lot of the terrible crimes that happen in the country of Mexico, not just the city, is gang violence. Criminals within criminals. But here in Mexico City, as far as I know, the crime that happens here tends to be mostly petty crime, which is pickpocketing and things like that. I haven't encountered any of that. I haven't seen shady people out there yet kind of trying to pickpocket. And then the thing I heard is with the taxis. So I'm just taking Ubers. So I wouldn't be too afraid of a guy trying to wash your sneakers. I don't think he's trying to mug me or rob my sneakers. Like, these sneakers are not too expensive either, so. And look at another cool bench. I wish I could sit on them, but the guy's sleeping and another guy's chatting on the phone. But look at these benches. They look like huge couches. That's so awesome. Oh my God. Bronze couches. Yeah, so cool. They're sweet benches. I wish they were empty. I would definitely sit on it immediately. Well, benches is looking like it. Here, benches are really unique. Oh my God, we got another unique bench across the street on the other side of the plaza. This one looks rather abstract. Here we have like a bench that kind of looks like a streetcar. That's so cool. Any tacos like New York City? Hey, we're in Mexico, so tacos here are going to be really good and not as Americanized. We're also in Mexico, so there's more use of corn tortillas rather than flour. Flour tortillas are more used up north.
Cooperación solidaria, pásale, pásale. Amigo, amiga, pásale al taller de bicicletas. Pásale, te subo por ciento, te lo bajo. Pásale, pásale, amigo, amiga.
Dino says hate the heat. Well, it's not as hot. It's just the sun is stronger because of the altitude. It's pretty cool right now. If I weren't walking so much, I would need a light jacket or a cardigan. Which part of the city you're in? I'm in La Paseo De La Reforma, which is this huge, massive boulevard built in the 1800s as a connection point between Chapultepec, which is the central park of Mexico City, and what used to be the heart of Mexico City, the historic center. And that was meant to be emulating the Champs-Élysées in Paris. That was one of the main inspirations. And they coordinated with architects from this gigantic boulevard. Have you seen Mexican police? Yeah, there's a heavy police presence here in Mexico City. Very heavy. I've seen a lot. Maybe not so much here at the moment, but we've seen already a few police cars patrol on the service roads right here. There's been a few police officers. Walking is good altitude training, says Gary. Oh yeah, Gary, I'm training to do a live stream on Mount Everest, so stay tuned. Mount Everest live stream coming soon to a YouTube and Facebook near you. Adri, did Adri leave a super sticker? Thank you so much, Adri. Thank you so much, Adri. Lo agradezco. I appreciate it. Wow, this is a much longer walk than I anticipated. Someone said 45 minutes. That's the Mexican Exchange building. Oh yes, is it this one? This is the stock exchange? Let's show it. Oh, back to my hotel, I'm taking a Uber. Well, I'm gonna go to the museum most likely. And I might live stream from the museum, so stay tuned. Adri, I appreciate it. And we found our first Urbanist orange car. Cross, cross, cross. Go, go, go. Eder says this is our Wall Street. Ooh, cool. Thank you for letting us know. This is a Museo de la Bolsa. The Museum of the Bag? That's how we say bag in Spanish in Puerto Rico. Bolsa. What does bolsa mean here in Mexico City? Julio says I'm right in the middle of the walk. Bolsa means stocks exchange. Cool, thank you. So this is the stock exchange of Mexico. Asin, am I using alcohol to sanitize my hand? Yeah, I have alcohol spray in my bag. 75%. Bolsa de Valores equals stock exchange. Oh, interesting. Interesting. In Puerto Rican Spanish, bolsa means bag. Well, of course, it might also mean stocks. Would be a much busy street tomorrow. Yeah, it'll be a very busy street. That's why I came here on a Sunday to do a nice light stroll throughout the city. Have I gotten sick from the water? I have not really had the water as far as my knowledge. I actually had some cilantro. And I had a little bit of a salad from a restaurant, which I'm not sure if it was washed with filtered water or with regular water. So this might be a little bit TMI, but if you're really curious, I do have loose stool. Yes, for the past 2 days. Not too bad. It's not too bad. It's actually not bad at all. It could be worse. I've had worse traveling in Eastern Europe. Wow. If this bench weren't so dirty, I would sit on it. If it didn't look like a torture chamber, I would sit on it. But it looks like a torture chamber. It looks like it belongs in the movie Saw. So I'm not going to sit on this bench because it is rather scary looking. Would you sit on this bench? Let me know. Will you sit on this bench, put your arms through here, and pretend you're being electrocuted? Let me know. I'm not sure. Let me know. Hey, Action Kid. Yep, change in diet even if it doesn't seem so. Yeah, Susan, yeah, that happens. It could happen in any city. A change in diet can lead to some diarrhea. Ah, the church is chiming. No to that bench, says Dr. Tachi. Yeah, Dr. Tachi would not sit at that bench. Okay, everyone. This might not be the most eventful walk because it's a very long stretch and it's mostly business. But we seem to have about 45 minutes till we get to the Central Park of Mexico City. Do you want to stay? Do you want to keep on going? Let me know. You want to keep on going? Want to keep walking around vicariously through the screen as I do the hard work with my own 2 feet? Let me know. Wow, here we have another bench. This is a Titanic bench right over here. What is up with these benches? All right, this one seems a bit more clean. Yeah, this seems like rusted. Let's sit on this bench. George says, take a break. I might do that, yes. If I see a cool coffee shop, I might do that. All right, so we're sitting on a Titanic bench. It's quite comfy. Are we back? I think I might have lost service because there was a subway maybe line running underneath. I saw these huge yellow doors or doors on the street, which makes me think they were subways, metro system. So that might be why I lost service. Let me know if I'm back. All right, we're back. It was a subway, so I think the subway is an issue. I think that's why subway is an issue when it comes to. Did you run, says Ronald? I did. I speed walked. Here we have La Ángel de la Independencia, the angel of independence. I'll show you a better view in a bit. Action Kid says, we're back now. Yes. We're in service. So this is Ángel de la Independencia, one of the most famous landmarks in Mexico City. This was originally going to be built during the era of Santa Anna, who was one of the other presidents that kept running for president over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. He was also the general. He was the general who was famous in America for losing to the Alamo. Though that is a much more complicated story for another live stream. Nonetheless, Santa Anna wanted to build a huge memorial, huge plinth. That plinth, that memorial column was going to be built right in the middle of La Plaza de Constitución, where we went yesterday. The nickname of La Plaza de Constitución is El Zócalo. And Zócalo means plinth. But they end up moving the plinth over here. And during the era of Porfirio Diaz, that's when they fully built it in the early 1900s. 1910, it was when it was fully open to the public. Let's zoom in. So it's under construction right now. It's under construction for a very good reason. On top we have Victoria. So on top we have Victoria, and Victoria, a lot of people question whose likeness is she based on? You know, in Mexico City, they quite didn't have, as far as I know, like an Audrey Munson. So they didn't have this like model that was used in all the statuary, like it is used in New York. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's my impression. The architect that built this, a lot of people think it was his daughter, but his daughter was too young. She was about 12 years old when this was built, a little bit younger than that. Way too young to be represented as a fully grown woman. A really fully grown woman. Let me zoom in so you can get a perspective. This is definitely not his daughter. Hey Valenti, thank you so much for the 99 pesos. Go to San Juan Market, exotic Mexican food. Where is San Juan Market? Let me know. So who is she based on? Well, people end up finding out because a woman on her deathbed, a very late elderly age, well, it wasn't too late, she died pretty young, 77 years old. She finally admitted she was the woman who this was based on. Her name was Ernesta Robles, and she was a seamstress. So, and she was a very beautiful seamstress as well. And she got paid pretty handsomely for being featured in the statue. However, things get a little bit more complicated. And the details for this is a little bit murky for me because I couldn't quite find sources that could like clarify if they were true or not. So I'm not sure if this is myth or legend. But what is true is in 1957, this statue, there was I think a small earthquake, and this statue fell down to the ground and collapsed right in front of here. One of the workers that was tasked with being around the statue ended up looking at the head, and the head cracked. And he goes up close to the head, the cracked head, and he sees something very interesting. He sees a little piece of paper sticking out. So he thinks maybe the paper is kind of like a notice of when this was built or whatnot. But when he gets closer, takes the piece of paper, he opens it, and he sees it's a letter. But the thing is, this man can't read. He's illiterate. So he grabs someone who's also looking at the statue. He asks him, hey, can you read this? And he is like, yeah, sure. And he starts reading it. And he finds out it is a love letter. It is from a man who couldn't be with his true love. And despite how much he loved her, he just couldn't be with her for whatever reason. Maybe because he was already married, maybe because he was already had children, maybe because he already had a family. And the letter said basically, I'm with you today, tomorrow, next year, and for all eternity. That's how it ended. A very beautiful ending to the letter. But who was this letter by? Well, a lot of people believe it might have been the architect. The architect who designed, the sculptor who designed La Ángel de la Independencia. And who was he targeting this letter to? It might have been Ernesto Robles. But who knows? I don't know the full details of it. I'm not sure if this is myth or if this is a real story, but it's a commonly told story. So to think of this angel having a letter in her head and by pure coincidence a volcano, earthquake crumbles down and the letter is exposed. Now, I don't know also if this is myth or legend or if it's a real story, but apparently this got to the attention of Ernesto Robles and the architect, the sculptor, before they passed away. And apparently they were reunited in their final days. Streamer in the blue shirt. No, just a guy taking a photo. You used to be able to go up the angel, but due to that earthquake and due to other things, they just, it's unsafe. So yes, there is an observation deck, but they don't allow it anymore. Have I run into many US people? No, I have not talked to US people, but I've seen US people. I've seen them in the streets, in the restaurants I've been to. So yeah, I've seen quite a bit of Americans. True or not, it's a nice story. Yeah, it's a nice story to think about. The letter is written. You can find the letter. And I love the ending, as I mentioned. I love you today, I love you tomorrow, I love you next year, I love you. All right, where can we cross? How does one cross here? All right, here's a crosswalk. Susie says, beautiful story. I hope this is true. Yeah, para cualquier chilangos que están mirando aquí, dígame, ¿y historia de la letra de amor dentro de la escultura es verídica? Y puede decirme, no sé si es mito o es verídica. If any Mexican, do let me know if it's a true story or not. Did I find bagels yet? I don't think there's bagels in Mexico. If there were, I wish there were some corn bagels. I would totally eat some corn bagels in Ciudad de Mexico. Rene says verídica. Good word, yes. Means truth. Is it true? So we keep on walking. Yes, we're keeping on walking. Someone said it was a little bit less now. We're getting close to Chapultepec. Monica doesn't really know about it. Yeah. You know, I found very few stories on it, but it touched me so much when I read it that I had to tell it to all of you. Hey, Taco, nice to see you here. Taco Rock, welcome. I am streaming on YT, FB, and Twitch, all three of them. Pizza, yes, there is pizza here. There is pizza. And there's a famous pizzeria with Mexican toppings on it. So I'm very tempted to feature a Mexican pizza. I'm gonna see if it's any good. I mean, I don't think they can say that the water is going to make the pizza good. I hope that's not the case. Me gusta practicar en español en la lengua. Oh, que bien, Rebecca, una lengua tan bellísima. It's a beautiful language, Spanish. Oh no, they allow cars back again. So, come here on a Sunday, especially when they open up the Angel of Independence. You know why? Because on any normal day, this is a huge roundabout, so cars will be constantly going through. There's not really stop signs, at least within the roundabout. So to cross, there's no crosswalk to get to the Angel of Independence. So if you visit it and want to be on the safe side, come here on a Sunday. Maximum, you have to dodge some cyclists. Hey, Adam, ¿ha dado una caminata por el Barrio San Ángel? Sí, yo entiendo ir al Barrio San Ángel a un momento. Se ve como un barrio bien bonito. Full area San Ángel. Stay tuned, maybe. No, there's no Taco Bell in Mexico, no. I think it would be rather redundant. It's like having a Starbucks in Seattle. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, never mind. It's like having a Maison Craiser in Paris. Oh, okay, wait a minute. Yeah, all right. Yeah, there are Maison Craisers in Paris. All right, it's like having a great... Damn it. Why isn't there a Taco Bell here? Abuelita is better than Taco Bell. Yes, I need food by Abuelita. Probably beats a Taco Bell. That's funny. So there is a Cinnabon, probably one of the few Cinnabons. There is a Subway. No, I would not recommend eating at a Subway. There's a lot better, in my humble opinion. Let's cross the street over here. No, let's see. I went to Maison Craiser Takeout Bakery. Yeah, it's here. So one quirk about Mexico is that sometimes they unleash the dogs. So some of them do run free. Jenny, what's my dinner plans? Something huge, something filled with a lot of pork, corn will be in the mix, and maybe some mezcal to soothe my sunburn. Because we all know that alcohol is great when you get a sunburn. Queda torta de jamón. Ah, qué bien. Okay, everyone, I gotta recharge. I'm running on low on battery. So let me know. We're itching close to Chapultepec, but I got sound like I'm unplugging your ears if I do so. Get some café de olla. Olla, Jorge. What's café? How would that translate? Pot. All right. I recommend a mango smoothie for some. better off to have a non-alcoholic drink if you get sunburn, because it's not mixed well with the sunburn. Oh no, subway, get away. Away from the subway. I posted the address of the market in the super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I am going to stick with the Paseo De La Reforma for today. I really want to see Chapultepec. I really want to show you Chapultepec. Suggestions, I'll keep them in mind for any future wanderings around here. Woo! I'm getting winded at this point. All right, let's connect my battery. So what we saw there is two Russians. So they're expats. That's interesting. I doubt they're immigrants. And we're back. Charged up and ready to go. Kenya, any pretty ladies attract my attention here. And don't talk about those topics, but I would say just in a very general way, the Mexican people are a beautiful people. Lauren says fast charge. I'm not fully charged. I just hooked up my battery pack. I'm actually gonna give myself a longer cable, but have it right here. Is your mask hot? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I do feel a bit warm wearing the mask. Let's wait. So here's one of the many theaters. Do I have a cooler mask? Ooh, that's a great question. No, I really don't have a thinner mask. I think I kind of defeat the point if you start getting a very thin mask. The fountain, yeah, I'll zoom into it in a bit. Here's the St. Regis Hotel. Allowed to lay on the fountain? I don't think so. I don't think anyone's doing it right now. Beautiful. Wow, look at that cantilever right there. So this is the Fountain of Diana. Nancy says, son gente muy amable y sencilla. Me encanta. The people here are very caring and also very simple. Might not be the best translation. I know what you mean, sencilla, but straightforward, and you love it. So ashamed I don't speak Spanish, says Dean. No, nothing to be ashamed about. Sencilla, humble, yeah, because simple is not quite the right word. Humble. How does the subway system compare to New York? It is vast. It is much less expensive than New York, fraction of the price. I haven't taken it yet, so I don't know the experience of actually using it. I've been using Ubers. Yeah, I've been using Ubers just because Ubers are so cheap. I've been spending around an average around $2 to $2.25 for an Uber ride. That's generally about 10 minutes, 15 minutes driving, or a little bit longer. It was yesterday in the afternoon, and I think it was peak hours, and they charged me $8 for a 15-minute ride. That was the most I've spent, but it's been an average about $2. Oh, we're getting close. Yes, Chapultepec is there in the distance. Wow, look at this building. This is a bank, BBVA. Let me know what that stands for. You also see some of those banks in New York. There's a few of them. I think it might be a Spanish bank. How about borrow a bike? I don't really like riding bikes personally. I either like walking or sitting. Those are my two favorite things in the world. Look at these like areas, these terraces. So awesome with a round staircase in the middle. Which piece of Mexican culture surprised you the most? The Aztecs and the sacrifices. Ronald, that's a BBVA stands for Banco Bilbao Vizcaya de Argentina. So Argentinian. Thank you so much. Banco Bilbao Vizcaya, Argentinian bank. Thank you so much. So Ronald has an excellent question. What surprised me the most so far of Mexican history? Two things. Aztecs and ritual sacrifice. I thought they maybe sacrificed a few people, a few dozens of people on certain days. But no, it was in the thousands, if not more. Some people say it was in the tens of thousands. But reasonably, you can assume it was at the minimum in the thousands of people sacrificed on an annual basis. There was one specific, and I did not manage to talk about this, with the ruler Tlacaltecutl. Ooh, I might be mispronouncing that. Tlacaltecutl. He was like he was the man behind the curtain, so to speak. There was other rulers, but he was the real ruler behind. And he had a ritual sacrifice where they say it could have been anywhere between 10,000 and 20,000 people ritually sacrificed for one event. It is no wonder that the nearby tribes, like the Tlaxcalans, allied with the Spaniards because they were sick and tired of the Aztecs. To them, it was too much. Too much human sacrifice, too bloody. The entire pyramid was encrusted in coagulated blood. And that really shocked me the most. Definitely shocked me. I did not think it was that severe, the terrible sacrifices. On a little bit of a lighter note, I'm not sure if this is too light, but on the second part that surprised me the most, and we're gonna maybe learn about this more as we walk around, there's a lot of street names after the Mexican revolutionaries. So it's Pancho Villa, we got Emilio Zapata, we have Álvaro Obregón, Venustiano Carranza. We have all these people. It's a really interesting story of the Mexican Revolution. It was a very bloody revolution. A lot of stuff happened. A lot of people died. Even the Americans got involved and invaded Veracruz, which is a nearby city in the Gulf Coast. But despite all these guys fighting within each other, they're honored all around the city. And I'm kind of surprised by that, because it's almost like if us Americans were to have a King George III Street, which obviously we don't have a King George III Street. We don't have Queen Elizabeth Street. So I found that very fascinating, that despite a very bloody revolution where people hated each other, killed each other, split families, everyone's honored. It's like walking in Washington, D.C. and seeing a Robert E. Lee street. At least that's kind of the American analogy I can make. So it's interesting to see all these revolutionaries kind of all honored almost on the same rank here in Mexico City. Renee says Georgetown, Queens. Okay, yes, touche. There's a few references, but it's not as many. Babu says it's very demonic. Yes, I mean, Huitzilopochtli, the god that the Aztecs worshipped, people might say that they were a Huitzilopochtli cult. He was the god of war, and the part of his myth was that he ate hearts. So it was built into the myth. Very underrated city. Yeah, very underrated city. We got traffic here. Looks like walking Miami, says Yogi Berra. Really? Yeah, I guess this might have a similar look. I've never been to Miami, but I've seen my friend Action Kid's videos. Babu, the Aztecs were worshiping Huitzilopochtli. Huitzilopochtli. If anyone wants to write that down, feel free to do so. Don't say his name too much, otherwise you'll summon him. But he was a god of war, and he also became the sun. Yeah, literally. He literally became the sun. And he thirsted for hearts. Mojab says, I was going to say, but we don't have a statue of King George III. No, we don't have. That's why I found weird about the Mexican Revolution here. I think the Mexican Revolution, you could put it a little bit more akin to the American Civil War. And at least in the northern states, you're not going to see, in the middle of New York or Washington, D.C., New York being the biggest city in America, you're not going to see a Robert E. Lee statue. Or, was it the guy, the General Sherman? No, it wasn't Sherman. I forgot his name. But you're not gonna see a statue of Stonewall Jackson. That's his name. You're not gonna see a statue of Stonewall Jackson in the middle of New York. Yes, we're right by Chapultepec, yes. I just take my sweet time while walking around. Turn to your right. Right? Like here? This way? You recommend coming in through here? An old house to your right. Like this street? Are you hydrating? Yeah, I have some ice water with me. Wow! What is this? Oh my god. Look at this. It's a Mac store. Oh, let me go underneath some shade. That is really cool. So it's a Mac store and they built a skyscraper on it. Oh, this is a skyscraper. Yes. Oh, I am tempted to make a video about this skyscraper. This skyscraper is built one of the most earthquake-proof skyscrapers in the entire world. They have this unique system of, they have like it's basically an exoskeleton that prevents the skyscraper from moving too much during a massive earthquake. But the interesting thing is that the skyscraper, it's called La Torre de la Reforma, was built in a curve, not in a curve, but like in a triangle. So they kind of had to build within this plot of land that already had this historic building which they couldn't tore down. So that's why it also has this kind of like triangular shape to it, or trapezoidal shape to it. Wow, that's so cool. A very beautiful building. Looks like a transformer. Yeah, it does look like a transformer in a bit. But look at that. See this exoskeleton? All done to prevent earthquake damage. That is so cool. I wish I can go inside there. The Mac painted pink. No, this is a brown color. Wow, this is awesome. Hey, check out check out Luis Barragan house, please. I reached out to them asking if they wanted to be featured on a Facebook Live. They haven't responded back, but I'm tempted to maybe just do a video anyway. Let me know. Thank you, Renee, for the super chat. Luis Barragan is one of the more famous architects here. He's known for his very kind of modern type of structures that are embedded into nature. So it's very Frank Lloyd Wright meets a modern art, much more kind of modern architect. Who's a good example? Let me know if there's any good other analogies. But he's like Frank Lloyd Wright meets a more modern architect from like the 60s. It was an innovator, and he's known for having these very beautiful pink walls in the backyard where a lot of people take famous Instagrams. So maybe I'll go there one of these days. This is like the coolest building ever. When is the collab with the local content creator? Tomorrow, 1 p.m. New York City time, 12 p.m. Mexican time. We're going to meet Yubish, who is of Mexico Underground. A really cool guy. And he's gonna take us through an awesome neighborhood where there's a lot of concentration of street food. Renee, thank you so much. So it's like Frank Lloyd Wright meets Corbusier. It would be Luis Barragan. He was an innovator. He was actually, I think, a disciple of Corbusier. So maybe we'll learn about him later. Stay tuned. All right, let's go back. Put on my map. Okay, thank you so much. That's 6 p.m. Really? Yeah, +5 New York. Okay, yeah. Thank you. 6 p.m. UK time. Oh, look at this other one. Oh yeah, this is the BBVA building. It looks really cool. And look at the parking lot they built right next to it. See, that are round look like the Guggenheim? Let me know. Mexico has 2 volcanoes nearby, Adam. Yes, Popocatépetl is one of them. Really cool architecture here. So, you know, the architecture is art architecture and the Spanish colonial architecture. But there's a lot of really cool, as we're seeing right now. Veronica says banco es español o argentino. Varias personas dijo que argentino. No sé por qué. So Veronica's saying that the bank is Spanish, not Argentinian. Let me know. Well, a few people said that was Spanish. Alright, how do I get into the park? Yeah, I might need to go this way. We'll go this way? What is this monument here? A la derecha está el Torre Mayor. So déjame enseñar la Torre Mayor primero. So a lot of people saying that it is indeed Argentinian, that bank building. Era el edificio más alto por muchos años. So Veronica's letting us know this was the tallest building for many years here in Mexico City. El Torre Mayor, which means the main tower or the major tower. La Independencia Monumentos. This is the monument to the independence, Mexican independence. So a lot of people are saying no Argentinian, and some people are saying yes Argentinian. I don't know. Carmen says the bank is from Spain. All right. People make up your minds. All right, I'm gonna do my best to cross over here. Argentina en latín para plata. Ah, okay. Okay, everyone, I'm a bit confused. Argentina apparently also means silver. So yes, this is a Spanish bank. Thank you. Strange green, pink taxis. Yeah, the taxis here are pink. But from what I've heard from locals and tourists alike, I recommend Uber. And Uber has been so inexpensive. Don't worry, you won't be spending that much money. Oh, another beautiful building. Look at this one. How tall is this monument? Someone said 200 meters? Let me know. I'm learning so much. I wish I paid more attention to high school Spanish. That's Susan. Yeah, Susan, I'm glad you're learning some Spanish words. Me too. I'm learning more Spanish. You know, I speak Spanish very casually with family. So I haven't spoken Spanish in a very formal way or an intellectual way. often. So that's why some of these words like Argentina, I had no idea it meant silver. Toda la digitalización. That's Fields. Ooh, that's Fields, you know Spanish, oh cool. Give the Mexican their dues, they built some cool architecture. Yes, they do. So here we have the grand entrance to Chapultepec, Grasshopper Hill. So, now remember, when we say Aztec, the word itself is made up. The Aztecs did not call themselves Aztecs. They called themselves Mexica. And the language that they spoke was Nahuatl. So this is Grasshopper Hill in Nahuatl. Why called it Grasshopper Hill? Because on this hill. Yes, they were very creative with their names. But the other stories that I was reading up on was that there was a moment in early Mexican city's history where the city was ravaged by grasshoppers and they were killing a bunch of the vegetation around here. A mí me gusta viajar en Mexico City. Dice, Nobu, welcome. Nice to see you here. Do you know Spanish as well? I know you're from the south of France, I think, so you might know Spanish. Well, Grand Park, I love it. Trees. I'm already liking this park. It's very nice. Very different from Central Park. Matt says it must have been so hot with all those grasshoppers. Yeah. Oh yeah, imagine coming here when grasshoppers used to rule this hill. They're here anymore. But the word for grasshoppers is chapulín. And apparently some chapulines are for sale. Yogi Berra, your family's from DR. How would you compare Mexico City to San Juan? So San Juan does look very different because the buildings are very colorful, they're a lot smaller. The best comparison for Puerto Rico to Mexico City is that Mexico City looks like a gigantic Santurce. Santurce is the main city right next to San Juan. And it's very beautiful in architecture as well. And to me, it looks very similar. But Santurce is a fraction of the size of Mexico City. So that's why to me it looks like a gigantic Santurce. Wendy says, what a beautiful walk. I agree, Wendy. I'm glad you're enjoying the walk. Palmas or palmeras? No sé cuál es la diferencia. Manny. Let me know what type of palm trees these are. It feels moist most of the time. Moist but a lot of smog, so I feel at the end of the day I really need to wash my face. That's how I feel like. So wow, a huge highway passes right through the middle of the entrance of the park. That's interesting. They carved the highway right in the middle of the park. Or in the beginning of the park, I mean. Are you going? It is, I think, closed off to the public as of last week when I saw the times, but maybe it has opened up again. Let's see what goes on. The walkways look much longer than New York. Yeah, this is pretty much a grand boulevard. The only New York comparison to Paseo De La Reforma really is Broadway. That's really the only comparison. But even Broadway doesn't compare because this is huge. So it's more similar to Champs-Élysées in Paris. The highways definitely seems weird going through. Yeah, yeah. I wonder what went through the urban planners' minds. I assume they built these highways maybe in the 40s, 50s. It seems a little bit newer. Maybe it was in the 60s. Are these date palm trees? I don't know. Don't know if anyone does know. Write down in the comments. So much greenery in Mexico City. Oh, yes, there is. It's an immense park. Oh, yes. We're in nowhere we're going to see the entire thing. But our main goal is to see the castle. So we got some clowns. Like literal clowns. Entertainers.
Ya sabemos a dónde va. ¿A dónde van? Y todos dicen ¿a dónde van? Ya sabemos a dónde van. ¿Va para allá?
They're saying, now we know where you're going. I'm not sure why. Now you know where you're going. Can you get by with limited Spanish? I think you can. I think you can. You know, there's some words here that are easy understood in English. Yeah. Especially if you know a Romance language like Italian or French, you'll be more than okay, especially when it comes to reading. I think it gets trickier speaking. Niños Héroes Monumento. Oh, gracias. Look at this beautiful monument. Oh, I see is that the castle? Let's see. Yeah, right over there. This is a huge market. Do the waiters in restaurants know English? Yeah, if you go to fancy restaurants, and again, fancy restaurants, you won't be spending that much money. They're pretty inexpensive compared to New York. Either half or a third of the price. They do know English. Street food, I think you'll be. And remember, some people even hear Spanish for some. Some come from the Yucatan, which is like the modern evolution of Nahuatl. And so there is a zoo in Mexico right here in Chapultepec. Look at the ice cream vendors.
Pero pues este año no, sí, sí. Lo bueno es que cuando...
Service here. Here in the park. Of the for me, but it was very bad service. I might need. Hopefully, it'll come back.
Una tortota gigantota, jóvenes. Hay tortas gigantes, hay quesadillas. Pozole, pancita, zona de comida, pues, joven. Buscaba la comida, joven, aquí al frente de la zona de comida. Enchiladas, chilaquiles. Buscaba la comida, joven. Quesadillas, guaraches, pambazos, flautas. Familia, buscaba la comida de este lado, joven. Enchiladas, chilaquiles, carne asada, pechuga empanizada. Hay guaraches, hay...
Hey everyone. Very bad service. It's lunchtime, definitely. I'm not sure if let me know if you can hear me. Here was Chapultepec Castle. It is closed right now, that's why I can't go up. There is very, very bad service here, and the stream is gonna crash. We reached Chapultepec. You got to see a little bit of it. Keep being awesome, and always keep on exploring. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for all the super chats. Bye-bye. Ooh, we're back. Okay, bye-bye, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Okay, service came back right now. I'll most likely be going to the Museum of Anthropology. Let me see if it's not too full. Get some food or something to drink. Have a great day. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye.